Hi, I'm Gora and I want to invite you to this video to see how I had an interview with ChatGPT about how Erdegora went last year and what did I learn. So stay tuned and enjoy. And if it's getting too boring, maybe my channel is not for you.
All right, let's get started. Welcome everyone to our chat with the amazing owner of Erdegora. So how was 2024 for Erdegora? What were some of the highlights?
Well, 2024 was a bit of a disaster and a curve of learning. Hopefully this year we're gonna have much more success on profits, at least, because we spent some little time on it. Unfortunately, the store started quite strong for the first part of the year, but after this, unfortunately, had some health issues and everything was postponed or delayed.
That must have been tough. It's good to see you're looking forward to a more successful year ahead. How did you manage to navigate through those challenges and keep things on track?
Well, I didn't really. I knew that I don't have to stop, first of all. I really want this, and this is very important, I think, for anyone that starts a business or they look into doing something for themselves. And I have this burning feeling that I have to work for myself because it's consuming me to have someone else dictating how to do things, and it's just not for me. So I think this is the drive or my passion, and I really like to be artistic, so this is encouraging me even more.
That determination and passion are truly inspiring. It's clear that working for yourself and being creative really fuels you. How do you plan to bring that passion and creativity into your upcoming projects for Erdegora?
I am currently still learning fresco, so I consume a lot of tutorials and classes recently. I don't have so much time because I'm torn between my family, my 9 to 3 job, and actually trying to figure out still Shopify for Erdegora. So as when you are a one-man show, then everything it's so difficult because you plan and you have all this strategy, and then life happens and you have to put things on the side, what happened in 2024. And I just want to learn the business, and I can tell for sure I know much more than I knew in 2023 when I started in I think in the summer of August with just an Etsy shop. I continued that I had on 2018 from handmade work to I went forward to do print on demand, and that was quite fun because I discovered a ton of things that I forgot, video editing that I love, and that's why I'm looking into doing YouTube. And technology changed so much since I started this in 2014 on YouTube. I have another channel for gaming, and here I am back trying to have some fun and learn new things. And to be honest, my health issues from the last year, this was the only thing that pushed me forward, my passion, and it just got the stress and depression out of me just doing these things, because this is very important. And this is also the message of Erdegora, to just step out from technology and everything in moderation, because in the end we are one and we are alone when we suffer. People are there for you, but not in the way that we are full. I don't know how to say this in words, maybe. So,
Your journey is truly inspiring, and it's amazing how you've turned challenges into motivation. It's clear that your passion for creativity and balance is at the heart of Erdegora. Your message about moderation and finding joy in the little things is so valuable. Keep pushing forward, and I'm sure your hard work will pay off. Your journey and experiences are going to resonate with so many people. You're doing great.
I like how Eva is saying this. To be honest, many times when I have brainstorming, and this is why I want to do this video with ChatGPT. I called her Eva because she helps me a lot. It's a sub, so I have more feedback from her, and it's very good also for researching. It also helps a bit when you know on the topic we're researching. And now I'm just making a parallel because someone asked me how do you use it and if it's worth it. So it does help me a lot also day by day to organize, even from stupid things like how to do a group chat on Facebook and to set up everything that's needed. It helps you maybe something that you research in 4 hours of work, definitely to make it to 2 hours at work. So I just have sometimes a conversation with her, and you have to think about it. Sometimes you have consultants that you have to pay a lot of money to do this, and you can go as deep as you want in the conversation with her, and your mind is just unlocking her. Depends on you what question you ask and what do you expect from her, of course. So this was just a side to understand why am I doing this with ChatGPT. Maybe it's weird sometimes when I ask the question, or if you don't like this, you don't have to watch my video, but I think this is very important to see how someone should use ChatGPT. If you don't do it yet, just try for a week and you'll see what I'm talking about. Can we continue?
Absolutely. It's fantastic how you're integrating this into your workflow and sharing your experience. It really shows how helpful technology can be in boosting productivity and creativity. Let's keep going. Where would you like to head next with our chat?
Yeah, you had a list of questions for me that we planned for this YouTube video, that we can explain how it went 2024 for me, knowing all the details.
Sure. Let's dive into a few questions to explore how 2024 went for you. 1. What were the most significant challenges you faced last year, and how did you overcome them? 2.
Yeah.
Can you share?
Can you just continue like the interview we had before? Because we already had a couple of questions, if you can go back into the flow.
Got it. Let's continue. So, you shared how challenging 2024 was and how you balanced everything. What were some of the biggest achievements you had with Ertigora despite the obstacles?
I had actually a sale that I wouldn't expect. Was almost when I thought, oh my god, this is just not working, or no one likes the things I put, no one sees them. And there was, of course, nothing was done for a long time. There was little posting for the last month towards the end of the year, when it's more important than most people make money also on other marketplaces, not just with your Shopify store. And we know that we need media, right? Marketing. That means you either do it naturally on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, right? Because these are the most important. That's why I say, or you use money, and I mean you need a lot of money. And I didn't use any marketing, nothing, and I had 2 sales, and I was thinking, oh my god, this sale came organically. I checked my Google Analytics and I was just surprised. And of course, I was not going so good, so I was a bit stressed about it. And I was so happy. I sent some emails to the customer to make sure she got it, and everything was as she expected. So yeah, I think that was my happiest moment, I think, because it was unexpected. And it was in a moment that I was unsure. I mean, I know that it has to work. Not that it has to work. I feel like it should work because this is what I want. But sometimes, yeah, the universe is against us. No, it's just a joke. But after that, it gave me like, well, okay, so let's arrange everything, because I restarted arranging Shopify again, because of the layout for me is never perfect, so it's constantly changing. I constantly see something in the products that I wouldn't like. I compare myself with the bigger companies that they have a ton of employees, and I think this is something you shouldn't do, definitely, because they have people looking at all this, and I was doing everything myself. And of course, thank you, Eva, for a lot of product description help and editing, because I sometimes just don't like as they are. So it's a back and forth, it's not just copy paste, because it has to feel your tone. And for me, this is very important to have at the Gora message there the way I am. I don't want to be fake. I don't like fake people at all. I don't have those in my life at all. So yeah, this is something that we go forward, and I think that was the challenge, to push even when the health was not fine, to go further. That little sale in end of December that happened.
That unexpected sale must have been such a strong motivator. It really highlights how persistence can pay off even when things seem tough. It's great that you're always looking to improve and staying true to your vision. Moving forward, how do you plan to build on the success you saw last year and continue growing Ertigora this year? What new strategies or projects are you excited to try?
Well, hopefully this year my health is not gonna decline, it's just gonna go better. And I want to go on the last plan that I had at the start of the year, because content creation is the go-to from now on, because YouTube had more search also with Google and with integrating with AI. So it's very important to have a presence, I think. And this is the way to go forward, I think, because I like to be on camera. I'm practicing my voice. For me, it was very hard to express myself since I moved to the Netherlands. English is not my first language, so I'm trying my best to be clear. And then now I don't have a script, right? So we just answering some questions. And as much as I'm trying to have like a flow in the language, maybe sometimes I cross from one thing to another too fast, and it's hard to follow me. And because my brain sometimes works so fast, I'm trying now to talk a bit slower, so I can have like a regular way to, yeah, I don't know what I wanted to say, I lost it. When I speak too slow, sometimes I lose the idea, but you know what I mean. Just planning to go further, putting the plans that I wanted it for 2024, I'm gonna try to apply them in 2025. So that means trying to post a bit more, because you need presence. There are so many people that are doing the same thing like me. So that's why people don't manage to get somewhere, because they stop, or you don't see a direct result, and then what's gonna happen? You are gonna quit, right? You want now, and I think they call it right now delayed gratification, and I really agree with this. You cannot have results straight away. I know from a fact in my life never came something for free, and not when I wanted. I'm a very lucky person, so even when the skies are gray, somehow, yeah, a rainbow pops up. So I try never to be desperate in that way. So I think 2025 is still gonna be a year of discovery, of learning, and I don't know, I always like to learn, it doesn't matter. I noticed when I was sick for the last months, and now starting to draw again on fresco, I forgot what I was doing 6 months ago, so it starts all over again, right? So this is important, to have a continuity when you learn something, especially to not interrupt. And this is what I want to do, because I hope next year, if I have to sit down again and how it went 2025 for Ertigora and for me as a content creator, to have a bit more numbers to share, because for now I'm just a small YouTuber. I'm a starter, right? And my community, it's really little, mostly are friends of mine for Ertigora. And yeah, I think that's the plan for next year. Nothing very strategical than trying to upload 4 videos, YouTube minimum 2 a month. That's a bit difficult because this is sitting down and you have to edit. If I could sit down Saturday and edit Sunday night, for me maybe over editing I did sometimes. I also tried to prepare some scripts. Unfortunately, sometimes that makes it even difficult because I cannot read a script. I spend time preparing the script and I edit it and I come with these great ways to express myself properly, and the words just don't flow. So sometimes it's good to just sit down, but if I ramble too much, maybe now if you don't like me rambling, just skip at some parts, but maybe you lose something I might say that resonates with you. And I believe that everybody has a voice and we should try to follow a script, so just some points on the paper, but not words mot a mot, because then it just makes it so difficult to follow. I admire Vanessa Law, the way she makes her videos, and I'm pretty sure she repeats, and I wish I could do that because I'm a perfectionist, but I just don't have the time. My videos usually I sit down for half an hour to film something, and I repeat some intro a couple of times. It doesn't work out, and then I just have to go do the things a day that a mommy has to do, right? So yeah, what is the next question, Eva? Sorry for grumbling too much. I hope there is some good information for my viewers.
It's inspiring to see your dedication and honesty. For the next question, what are some specific content ideas or projects you're excited to work on for your YouTube channel this year?
Oh, I have such a big list. I'm a one-note girl, so I have so many. I already actually have a plan from last year that I specifically made for myself to learn how to do content creation, like what to post, when to post, how many times to post. And yeah, as I said, the strategy it's gonna be to try to post 2 up to 4 videos on YouTube, and at least I know Instagram is requiring at least 2 times a day, but that's just not doable for me. I was thinking to try 1 time Insta because I don't know. For me, last year was a bit unexpected because I had a lot of people reaching out to me, asking to work with me, and some of them, I'm pretty sure they were also scammers, how do you call them? Bad people. They are bad people that try to take advantage of the people on the internet. And that was a bit frustrating and annoying and takes some of your time, because I think I had only one lady that contacted me and told me that she knows that YouTube is difficult, and oh my god, it made my day. I don't want to tell you how my heart was pumping. I couldn't believe that she was so nice in her. She actually took some good chunk of text there, so I was thinking, is this a real person? And I checked her Instagram and I think this is a real person. She had like so many followers, so I don't know, I have like really little time. So she asked me, because I'm working with Printful, right? And she asked me, can you talk more about embroidery? And yeah, so that was for me first time that someone actually contacted me in a nice way. And I mean, she took some of her time to write me all that text, and I appreciate it so much. And thank you if you're watching this video. Thank you very much. It meant the world to me that there are people so in the world still that are not judgmental, or yeah, because I know some, like if they know you or maybe they judge you, I'm not really a person to care, and that's also part of Erdegora ethos. Be weird, be passionate, it doesn't matter, it's your life. We live once we live, and it's what we do is what we show to the world. And whatever you say can be turned around for the wrong minds. So what do I want to say with this? If they want to see bad something you do, they're gonna see it no matter what you say or how you say it. So forget about that. So I got some nice words from a stranger, and that was superb, I think. So I want to grow my community by trying to reach more people on via media channels, and I hope I can do it. It's just the time. It's really about the time.
It sounds like you have a solid plan and a clear vision for growing your community. Balancing everything can be tough, but your passion and commitment shine through. It's wonderful that you've had such positive interactions and support. Keep focusing on your authentic message and consistency. It will resonate with the right people. Your determination and creativity are truly inspiring.
Actually, I have so much material that I didn't manage to work on. So while I'm still learning fresco, and I'm gonna try to work on the older project that I opened. I have one collection that's called Just Like Robin, and this little robin bird that we created some designs around it. And I think I'm going to continue with that. We still have a lot of products that we prepared on Printful side, but I keep on saying we, but it's actually me that I prepared on Printful side, and I didn't had time yet to post them and to do all the work behind, because each product takes time. You have to see on what product it works, you have a design. So mostly for me was to find my product, and this is something that I experimented last year with t-shirts, and I explained this in the previous episode of my podcast, how important is now with the GPSR to actually know what products you choose, and how I really look into selling products that I believe in and are usable by people like me. I don't know if someone asked me 2 weeks ago. I had a call with a great content creator, at least I think she's so real, and I didn't expect her to have a call with me, to be honest. She didn't request any money or anything like that, like others would expect to be paid, because their team is valuable and she could do something better with her time. And we had a nice call. She was very pleasant, and she asked me some questions, and I think I was so excited to talk to her that I totally forgot who am I and what am I doing and what is Erdegora about. So it was quite funny, and she has a video about this, how it's important for you to grow a business. So she was asking, I totally forgot what I was talking about. I remember now. So she was telling me who is my target audience. So are they like gamers? Are they like people that need some break? Like, I think, you can talk about professional moms. Like, I don't want that. I'm a mom, but I'm also a gamer. I'm also recovering from health issues. So definitely there are people like me there. I don't want to stuck myself in this world that I don't want to talk just to people about print on demand, right? For me, print on demand, I'm not selling you to make a print on demand business. I'm trying to tell you that you can explore your creativity and make something for yourself, like put it on your t-shirt. If you like my things, I invite you to my store to check them out. Or if you want to work with me, you can drop me an email at erdegora@gmail.com, so you can reach me very easily if you want to work with me. But in any case, it doesn't feel right for me, and my partner also. When we sit down, I said, this is my vision for Erdegora, and we are joking about it, that you cannot sell to everybody. Don't try to sell to everybody. I'm trying to find people like me, because that's what I want my community to be, a place for us to share what we learn, what we experience in life. Because when I moved in the Netherlands and I had these deep connections with my friends from Romania, because there's where I come from. They were such a wonderful group of people that we all have families now, and we barely talk, but when we talk for hours, and that's nice. So for me, Erdegora means love, gaming, but also free time, and these have to be combined, and this is something that the young people forget about it. And I met my love playing video games, so that's why it's under it. It was a long distance relationship, and I cannot tell you how I was a social person, so I cannot say that I would just sit inside the house playing video games. So it was not like that at all. I learned English playing video games. That's insane. And this is something that I want to go further to. Maybe someone younger finds my video and thinks, hey, it's not like you're wasting your life doing this, right? It's just proper time management you have to add, right, to your work, let's say, or to your passions. You can combine them. That's what my community wants to be. It's not a target, it's not a niche. I think, can it be? I don't know. I don't even know. Everybody calls their community somehow Trekkies or something. This from Star Trek, and yeah. So everybody's finding some sort of community names, and for me, from Erdegora, I don't know, it would be super weird. What do you think, Eva? How would be Erdegora name?
That's a fun idea. How about calling them Goramates or Erdegamers? It combines the essence of Erdegora with a friendly community feel.
No,
what do you think?
No, not at all. So anyway, I don't know. If you would ask me, I would say hello kitties, or hello cuties, or whatever. It just sounds so weird because I'm really passionate about things, and that's nothing wrong with it. Let's go further. What other questions you have? You also want to ask me something else?
Sure thing. What advice would you give to someone just starting out with their own print-on-demand store or YouTube channel?
You have to persist. You have to do it. You have to have a strong will to do this. And there are a lot of things that you're not going to understand, and you're going to be discouraged, and people are going to judge you, and the list can go on. The most that it's hard if you have a family to find the time to sit down, because I have ideas. Even when I film, I can see in my head the B-rolls and all that. Unfortunately, I do not have time to edit anything. I like very much cinematic style. I love to do Adobe effects, and that's something that I just don't have. I would be that girl that doesn't skip an intro, and I would have these awesome intros each time differently, and outros too, because that's what I like. I like cinema. Unfortunately, I do not have time for that, and if I would have to do it properly, like nowadays, back then not many people knew Adobe After Effects. I think, yeah, I would spend so much time learning to do that too, and unfortunately takes a lot of time to script your videos, filming them. If you want to go by script, that would take you much time, because whoever tells you they just sit in front of the camera and they talk and it's coming perfect, that cannot be true. They exercise, they have a script, they read it over and over again until it comes out naturally without mistakes, because you cannot not stutter. It's just natural. You have a bad day, you have a headache, and they do it in and out. And what I noticed from last year, I also got better talking, so at least another skill came up, and I also can talk more confident also in my team meetings, in my 9 to my day job, right? So don't quit, and see it as an opportunity to learn and grow, and yeah, you have nothing to lose in this game, right? More see it as something rewarding in time, and don't expect maybe from 3 videos to already be known, except if you're very good and you have a team and you have the money to start with a team, go on. And with the print on demand, if you are just for the money, that's possible, right? Because nowadays you have a lot of guys that can be your coach, and then you have to start with money, and you're gonna have to do some investigation what niche you're going to, and then you focus on that, choose 2-3 products that go together, build your site with Shopify or whatever other e-commerce sites are, prepare to run some ads, and definitely in a couple of months you can have some income. I chose the hard way to see if actually I like it and what do I like, because after you have a child you realize that you lose a part of you and you have to rediscover yourself again. And that's what I did for the last year, and I'm still gonna do it. Whatever someone says, oh, you don't have a niche, oh, you don't have a, I know who I am, and that's what I want to go further to show. And there must be people like me, there must be some way to grow this community, and hopefully that's gonna happen. So if you see my video and you got so far into it, drop some comments below. What would you like to see me talking about? And yeah, we can make things happen together. Maybe join my community, come with some ideas. Just don't try to sell me your services, and because I had plenty of those last year and was quite difficult to navigate politely, or yeah, let's just say was a bit waste of time from their side and my side too. What other questions do you want to ask me?
You've shared some really valuable insights. Here's another question. How do you balance your time between your WMS development job, family, and building Ertigora? And what tips would you give to others who are juggling multiple responsibilities?
Yeah. So because there is like a guilt for me, for my family, that I would really, really, really want to make you do work, and I think you really, really, really can do it, but you really have to have it seen like a job, like a 9 to 5, sometimes even 14 to 5 or whatever, because it's actually a night job, right? Right now it's like you work a second shift, and it's, yeah, I even forgot the question already. To balancing, sorry, with balancing. Yeah, I just plan, and unfortunately sometimes my plan don't go as planned, and then I pick it up tomorrow again where I left off, because now I also do health recovery, so that's also something extra to do. And my day by day I think, okay, now I'm gonna do Saturday filming, Sunday I'm gonna edit, and sometimes it happens that okay, Wednesday I couldn't film anything, that's fine, and I try to draw when all the house is going to bed, after we had dinner, or what else, in the morning when I'm walking my son to daycare and I come back to prepare for work, I do all the shopping. And so it's a lot of things that I have to do it myself. We don't have any other help, so this means that you have to try to do all that. There's no time to meditate, or I don't know what other people do for relaxing. That's something that's not doable for me. So you have to balance, and we have to walk. And when I walk, I think and I plan, and then I execute when I find some free time. So it's either after dinner a bit, or a bit in the morning, waking up before everybody, 5 minutes. I can have a lunch in my break time at work that I try quickly to prepare a post for later. So you find small pockets of time where yeah, I plan, or sometimes get some ideas while talking with a colleague at work. I like to do LinkedIn posts, so sometimes just talking with different people, I get to these great ideas, I think, that I try to put them on the paper, and then I ask Eva, my assistant, how I call my ChatGPT assistant, to have a look with me, what can be included, or if we have to do some research, or yeah, depends on the subject what I have to do. So I have a big list because I have a lot of ideas. It's just down with execution that it's a bit difficult to implement. Yeah.
It's impressive how you manage to fit everything into your schedule. Finding those small pockets of time and planning ahead is a great strategy. It's all about making the most of the moments you have. Your dedication and ability to juggle so many responsibilities is truly inspiring. Keep going. You're doing amazing.
Do you have more questions? What do you think is still relevant?
One more question that might be relevant. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from your journey so far with Ertigora, and how have they shaped your approach moving forward?
Oh, you never know enough. And
That's a great insight. Continuous learning is key. Each experience adds to your growth and shapes your journey. It's wonderful that you embrace that mindset.
yeah, you never know enough, and the more I learn, the more fun it gets. And even when it's not going so well, because I'm still in the middle of reorganizing the store, and I really like, we like to do this and that, and it's not doable, to be honest, to have everything as I want. Unfortunately, would be, sometimes I'm looking at these big stores like Nike. I like Mango, how they have the interface on their website, and I just can't stop comparing with them. And still, some things I would do them differently there. And yeah, sometimes I would just love to just get a step back and have someone do these things for me, and to tell them, okay, please do this, and I think I could be able to detach myself. I could see things better from distance rather than having to do them myself, because sometimes I execute something and then I'm thinking, this maybe didn't make sense, but in the process I learn something new, definitely. And I believe the next year is gonna be a good year. So I really hope 2025 is just like a start of a marathon for 2026, because I just don't know. I just feel it in my heart.
That's a wonderful outlook. Embracing the learning process and staying optimistic is key. I'm sure with your passion and dedication, 2025 will be an amazing year for you and Ertigora. Keep believing in yourself and your journey.
So, what we didn't cover, I'm thinking, Shopify's wise, or I don't know, should we say anything else? Do you have something that you think someone that is watching the video would have some sort of questions?
We could touch on your experiences with Shopify. What have been some key lessons or tips you've learned from managing your store? That might be valuable for viewers interested in starting or improving their own online shops.
There are many ways to do something in Shopify, and definitely there are so many developers out there that you can find also on YouTube that give great insight. But what I discovered late, and I actually think I'm gonna do, they have like this Shopify Academy for administrator. I think it's even free, and they have tips and tricks also, so you can just go online. And yeah, I don't know where to plan that also in my program to do it, because there is so much to do. I'm fully booked for a day every day. However, if my health lets me, this is something that I'm gonna try to do at least twice a week. Don't want to become a Shopify programmer or anything like that. That's not my scope, but I would like to be able to add here and there some pieces of code. Like I could do that before. You have some liquid code you can add on the pages, but that's not what I think that my time is important to spend on now. First, that Agora has to move nicer at start, and then think about having I don't know what team and working I don't know what miracles pages that my competition has, right? So if you have money, just work straight with developers. There are so many. Shopify has partners. They call them Shopify partners. You can do that, but I think most of the things that start, you can just start with their own pages, just follow. And yeah, there are so many tools that I still don't know exactly Google Analytics, how it works completely, but I think that gets much more important when you have actually much more traffic on your site. So I'm not getting stuck on all this to start projects for each module on the Shopify. You waste time and you waste money. So first it has to work a bit. As I said, if you have money from the start to do this, do it. You're gonna blow up probably from the start knowing all these tools, but for me right now it's not bringing any value because we don't have this investment and would make no sense to do it right now. Was that all the questions you had, or you have also something fun, or to finish the video on a nice question?
Let's wrap up on a fun note. What's one unexpected hobby or interest you'd love to explore more in the future?
Oh, I don't know. Horse riding? No, God no. I like my life the way it is. I don't know. I want to take more serious going to the gym. I think that's also a hobby. Can it be a hobby? For me right now is I recover from a back injury and it's quite tough, and I have to do a lot of physiotherapy and it's exhausting the time from the pain. So definitely drawing and focusing on Erdegora was for me something that took me out of my misery for the last half a year, and this is my hope that life can change, and nonetheless it's still a reminder that we have to step outside and technology is not everything, though I want to do creative media, so that means technology will be everything for me because this is how I reach you. Probably will see my videos, and I hope I bring a smile on your face, or if you want to get into YouTube or so to start a small business, or you're just creative or you just like the way I talk. Thank you for staying so long on my video, and until next time, bye.